Okay. George, you wanted to kick it off? You want me to?
I'll be glad to do. Do you mind me
Oh,
making a quick announcement?
oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of you probably don't know this, so this will be the kind of out the gate. And we didn't. I asked, and he specifically said no, he didn't want to. But Fred has got, as you probably see behind him, a lot of projects going on, and he goes, "Listen, I'm going to need to take a break. So this is the last Godfather meeting for a little bit until he's able to come back and jump back in." Um, Again, I wanted to put it out as a big thing. He's like, no, that's not the purpose today. So from all of us, thank you for everything you have contributed over the last, God, what, 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
And it's not goodbye. It's just you gotta focus on what you're focusing on. I get that. You got big projects you're working on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
It all started with these meetings 4.5 years ago when I started with the Soulful Wednesdays, the spiritual side of success, the we call it a number of other things, but a mind body mastermind. But one of the things that I'm doing is I'm finally finishing a manuscript I've been writing since 1989. And the 920 Society is so needed in every area of life, and I'm going to go through that a little bit. And and it's good, and it definitely ties into what's going on in the real estate industry right now because for those of you who've been around for quite a while, I teach on attitudinal healing, attitudinal development, and because everything's an inside out job. And it's nothing new. It's just that we all come from different positions in life and stuff. And Jim Rohn said it best, Tony Robbins' mentor, work harder on yourself than you do anything else, and everything else takes it easy. And work harder on yourself than you do your business, and your business takes care of itself. And that doesn't mean automatically, but it just things flow differently and manifest differently and happen differently and that type of thing. So, but anyway, yeah. So I'm going to be pursuing that. Trying to finish that manuscript next 3 or 4 months. And the 920 Society, we're looking hopefully to kick off May 1st, 1,000 members a month, from what I'm being told, that we might be able to accomplish. So we'll see. But you're a big part of that. You're the foundation of it for those of you who are on and been with us for this long. So I want to thank you for that. But to get to the subject today, this week, so far this week, there was so many meetings and so many of this and so much news going around and what's going on in the industry. And so I want to talk about some creative things this morning and what you're doing differently. But this week, how many of you have done something differently as a result? Karen, I'll start with you, and then I'm going to introduce the folks from NB Nationwide Mortgage Brokers here in a little bit because there's an alternative they have, which is really interesting. That's going to help you and assist you during these changes, as long as we get creative. But what have you done differently since the news happened in a proactive way? And Karen, what have you done?
Well, I have reached out to my current sellers just to see if they had any questions or wanted to talk about any issues in the news lately about the NAR settlement. They're pretty intelligent, so they kind of see the real world and how it's going to be, going forward. No one's wanting to change their commissions, so it's been a really good discussions. Had 3 more people ask me for a listing appointment, so I'm going on those this week and next week. And I'm just going to keep doing my Karen thing and, keep serving my customers as best I can, explain commissions when I'm going through the listing agreement with them, and making sure they understand, just as I always have. I mean, I just think NAR had horrible attorneys. I don't know how they lost this thing. There are definitely rogue agents out there who don't serve our industry well and misrepresent what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I think the majority are paying the price for the few rogue agents there are out there. So being proactive that way. Again, just, reaching out to people, telling them about EXP. I got a new agent yesterday, so I'm excited about that, to mentor a newbie, and another one is considering it. So just, I keep doing what I do.
Okay. And then anybody else, what have you done since this news hit that you've changed a little bit of direction? You've changed some of the things you're doing. You've made some new commitments. Anything like that? Anybody else? Go ahead, just unmute yourself and speak up. I know I always have to pull it out of you, so you're going to make me do it again. Come on, it's my last meeting. Make it easy, everybody. Speak up. let me give one thing. For example, I had a couple agents that signed up for the negotiation designation of NAR, right? I had somebody else sign up for the buyer's agent specialty with NAR. Gina Smith, I don't know, did she make it this morning? Gina's just finished her GR, and now she's committed to going further to some other courses. So what you got to do is work on the value, right? And so all those that's been on, that one of my sponsors is Nationwide Mortgage Brokers, and they make it possible what I do with the free coaching to everybody that a number of you have taken advantage of. And, one of the things I'm going to recommend is that you connect with them, because they have a program where agents, you can start practicing and add to your business mortgage services, right? And Jonathan, let me just, if you'll just chime in there a little bit and talk about that, because
Sure.
Go ahead.
Let me jump in. So, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us on board. Thanks, Fred. Nice to meet everyone. So I'm one of the divisional EVPs at Nationwide Mortgage Bankers. We're a nationwide mortgage company. I'm actually in Boca Raton. I got my other partners on here. Some of you met and know Dave Long, as well as Nate Servideo. So what we have done in anticipation of this ruling about a year ago, we started as a nationwide company to help the real estate industry partake in the mortgage industry. So we've rolled out, it's going on a year now, with approvals from various states, a program called Real Estate 360. Now, other companies are rolling out similar products and similar programs, but we dove in with our attorneys and made sure, besides on a federal level, we got state approval from various states to get this accepted. And how this works basically is conventional loans, Fannie and Freddie always allowed dual compensation, allowed a real estate agent to partake if they were licensed and get paid on mortgages as well, as long as they did some work on it. But Ginnie Mae, which is FHA, never allowed it. Well, last year, a little bit about a year ago, Ginnie came out and put out a mortgagee letter and said, we are now allowing it. So in anticipation, we had our attorneys roll on this quickly, get state approvals in various states, such as Florida and other states around the country. And we're going out and we're signing realtors up to partner up with one of our mortgage professionals, whether it's myself, Nate Servideo, Dave Long, and we're going to help quarterback the deal for you. But you can get paid as long as you're licensed on the mortgages. So we call it Real Estate 360. We walk you through the licensing. We help you get licensed. And what happens is, a lot of people say in our systems, we call it a loan origination system, we'll give you markers and tell you where the file is. Well, we go beyond that. Once we put you on as a loan officer on your deals, we don't have to set up markers. You are the quarterback. You're the quarterback for your client. You're the quarterback for the other agent. You know exactly where the deal is. You have constant contact with the underwriters, the processors, the title companies. It gives you so much more transparency to the loan that has not been there before. You actually have the ability to dive in and look at everything transparent on that loan. Now, I'm not saying you have to do a lot of work, because you don't, because when we partner you up with someone, they are going to do a majority of the work. We just have to stay consistent what the rules are of what you have to do, which is minimal stuff. And what happens is, now when you negotiate, Or let's say the other side is the listing agent and you're the buyer's agent and the buyer's not agreed to pay you. Well, this will fill that gap because you're going to get paid for the mortgage. You're going to get part of the loan officer comp. It gives you that flexibility now to say, okay, as the shift is occurring in the industry, how can I still get compensated if I have to send a buyer out there? Well, there's various ways that we're figuring out how to make that happen. Prior to this ruling, it was great because what happened is when the listing agent always questions whether the person's approved, when you tell them, hey, I'm also a heavily involved loan officer on this, they feel more comfortable of taking that contract, especially in an environment where there's less inventory, people are competing for contracts. One thing we do know now at this point is in the next 12 to 24 months, interest rates are going to come down. We're pretty much sure of that because we're monitoring what the Fed speaks is saying. We know the direction they're taking. We know we're in stability now. Well, what's going to happen to the market once interest rates go back down? We're going to have a surge again in prices. We're going to have a liftoff once again, which is going to make competition very tough. But as we entrench you on our side of it, it's going to make getting contracts accepted easier. And what happens is we'll walk you through it. We'll train you. You could be as little involved as you want or as involved as you want. We allow you to take that direction. It's up to you. We will show you everything. We have marketing portals set up for you on our side as well. And we're going to give you every tool and resource. And we have marketing people internally that will set it up for you where you don't have to do any work, where you don't have to do anything. Our internal systems will do it all for you. We set up, let it go, and it does it for you. So that's really just a quick 5-minute snapshot of what we could do. We could have later breakout sessions. I'm always available to talk in depth about it. Fred knows me very well. Fred and I closed a deal together. He called me. You don't mind if I say this, Fred, do you?
Go ahead.
Me.
Shout it from the mountaintop.
Fred called me one day and we had a relationship. And Fred, I've been in the business 30 years in Boca, 30 years, and I knew Fred, similar backgrounds. I came from Wall Street, and Fred calls me and goes, on a Sunday, I'll never forget, it was 5 o'clock on a Sunday, Fred texts me and my partner and says, I need help. I got 48 hours to close a land deal for 5.4 million. Otherwise, my client is going to lose his money. He's got, I think it was 1.5 million at risk at that point.
800,000.
I called Fred. I said, give me 1 hour. Let me make some calls. I called some of my contacts in Miami. Within 48 hours, 10 minutes before they were about to lose their money, the wire hit. They closed the deal, saved it. And here we are 7 months later. The guy just paid off the loan and saved them, right?
Yep. And I got a $13 million transaction out of it.
There you
Because
go.
I had both sides of the sale, the $6.5 million. Yeah, and that's the purpose of these masterminds, folks, is to collectively get together with other minds. Not now, Jonathan's a really smart guy, has a great background in finance and all, but does he know everything? No. I've been doing this 47 years. Do I know everything? No. Is there different ways to skin the cat? Yes, there always is, right? So a mastermind, and that's why, I'm committing the rest of my life to the 920 Society, is because there is no true mastermind the way Napoleon Hill truly used to have them when he wrote Think and Grow Rich. And I want to help people and support people in every aspect of their business, their life, every aspect of life. And I know we all have been programmed that, we keep our life segregated, right? We have our business life, we have our family life, we have our spiritual life, we have our social life, we have our different clubs, we have this and all these exclusivities. But when it all comes down to it, we're all are human beings. I say spiritual beings, or not I, but many people over the years, spiritual beings having a human experience. So how does that relate to business? Well, a mastermind is a spiritual nature, right? It's definitely of collectively people coming together. And the 920 Society, I talk about it. It's really understanding your soul intelligence mixed with your divine intelligence, now mixed with artificial intelligence, mixed with your ego intelligence, all these things coming together, and then networking. And the reason, and by the way, I'm going to say it again, I'm really appreciative of Nationwide Mortgage Brokers, because without their sponsorship, a lot of the free coaching I've done over the many months and stuff wouldn't be possible. So thank you guys, number one. Number two, I don't team up with anyone just because of a sponsorship. I do it because of the power they bring, the influence they bring, things like a Sunday day, a call you can make on a Sunday and have a deal done in 2 days. And they're almost nationwide. So definitely, Jonathan, who should they connect with exactly to whoever they should connect with on that program? Put that in the chat.
Connect
Well,
with
put
me
that.
directly. So I'll put my phone number, my cell phone, my email, and you can definitely connect with me.
Put it in the chat. Okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then one of the other things I would be doing with this change, folks, I would be looking at my mortgage license. I would be looking at, now you may say, wait a minute, I'm so busy running a real estate business, I don't want to do mortgage. Well, you just heard Jonathan say you don't have to, but in order to be compensated, is that you need to have the license, and they're going to help you through all that. So, but let me do this. It's March the 27th. What was the March project in the 920 Society? Somebody, what was the March project? What was the name of the project? Come on, let's go. It's a test question. If you answer it, what was it? Defeating mediocrity, right? In order to defeat mediocrity, okay, and we're playing with the design in the 920 Society. By the way, I've been misleading everybody on these calls because of course, when you're the admin of a Facebook community and you come in here, it's a different look up the top. So the files, what I'm going to go through with you today will be here. It will be under files when you go to the 920 Society. Now there's Annabelle, are you on? Say yes, say hello. Annabelle, okay.
Yes, Mr. F. Yes, I'm here.
It takes her a long time to reach the mute button, folks. Put the group link in the chat. And when you come here, there's questions you'll answer just to join if you're not a member yet. But when you're looking for these files, I'm going to go over with you today. And I want you to take these files and do whatever you want with them, because this message I'm going to give you today is so powerful for you as salespeople. But this idea of defeating mediocrity in March and creating March and having the most miraculous March of your life. And we're using Og Mandino's book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And the scroll number 4, I Am Nature's Greatest Miracle. And the greatest salesman, and these were the slides. And for those of you who've been on, the last 3 or 4 weeks, the whole idea was identifying, defeating mediocrity in business and the business of life and what holds us back, and learning to sync these during the month of March. I'm not going to go through the detail of the presentation that we've gone through a number of things, but it's leap year. And when are you going to leap if you haven't leaped yet with your business? Seriously, when are you going to take it to where there's an abundance of income coming in, not a scarcity, right? When are you going to become a leader of your industry versus lagging behind it? And ask yourself that. See, I do want to be a leader. I don't want to be a laggard. And then we said the way to do that is you've got to evaluate everything. In order to elevate it, you need to evaluate your business right now. You need to evaluate whether I should get my mortgage license to elevate my income. And then, of course, altitude by attitude. You're never going to grow without the right attitude. And there's such power and possibility in this business and in life in general. And this was an old presentation I did back in 1990 that I thought was really cool. Haven't changed it. So evaluate to elevate Socrates. The unexamined life is not worth living. If you're just on this call, just idly participating, that's not good enough. You need to examine what I'm saying to you. You need to examine whether you should get your mortgage license. You need to examine who your mortgage partners are going to be. You need to examine everything. And then your attitude. You got to commit to the attitude to reach the power and possibility. And masterminding. Life is full of free M&Ms for everyone. Right. We went through this all month. So we're just wrapping up this month, and I'm going to get to one thing that I really want to, hopefully that you'll go to Facebook, You'll print this PDF off. You'll keep it by your bedside. You'll keep it on next to your desk. So you become marvelous moment by moment. You can only do it moment by moment, right? I don't want you to be mediocre. I want you to be marvelous. How many of you like to have a mediocre bank account? Raise your hands. You like having a mediocre bank account. You can't pay your bills, or you're not wondering where the money. No, you don't. You want a marvelous bank account. So how do you do that? You do it with the right movements, and you do it all by minute, making every minute miraculous, right? Because life is by the inch is a cinch, by the yard it's hard. So 1 minute at a time, defeating these damn things that hold us back. The miserable moments that we allow in our lives. We've got to really fall in love with life itself. And we got to be mesmerized by life and love versus mystified. So many of us walk around sometimes. It's kind of, I see it in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. If you earlier on the call, I said I'm in Vegas for 4 or 5 days. And about people mystified with machines sitting there just like robots, and how we kind of escape that way, right? And we want to escape that way instead of really being transformational. So, and again, you have to have some fun once in a while, and every now and then it's okay to let the machine watch your eyeballs twirl with the machines, right? But we got to take action, right? We just can't sit around. We got to move forward in little things. You feel a little bit down, jump up quickly and start walking fast and see what happens, right? So always elevating your standards. And self-sabotage is sneaky, right? We blame it on messes, we blame it on mishaps, we blame it on misunderstanding. Those M&Ms have nothing to do with why people are mediocre. It's what they do with them. We can't control what happens. We can only control how we respond to it, what we do, and not moaning ourselves through life. And I want to get to something here. Okay, so we're wrapping up March. Hopefully, now we're going from Og Mandino's scroll number 4, which is I Am Nature's Greatest Miracles, to April, because I'm going to be doing weekly webinars in the 920 Society. So the scroll number 5 is I will live this day as if it's the last day of my life. It's going to be a powerful one. This was really a powerful one for a number of people that I coach. It really was very monumental. Okay. So all these M's, you've got to be thinking about these, and you've got to become the master by masterminding, hanging out with the right people, associating with the right people, having the right partners, the right mortgage partner, right title partner, right, mentor. A lot of people on this call, they come on, they come on by themselves, they leave by themselves, and never connect with anyone in the community. That is what I'm going to be working so hard on, is getting participation in the 920 Society. So if someone is struggling can come in there and say, hey, I'm struggling, and they feel comfortable doing that, or someone saying, hey, man, I had a phenomenal month, right? And they don't feel embarrassed to pat themselves on the back publicly. So we got a mastermind in order to be a good architect of our lives. So this here, I've shown this a couple times, but this applies to every thought you have in March, right? I said, do it moment by moment. So this is about time management, but I want you to watch this and think about every moment in March that you went through your head. Just think about 27 days are now gone. Every thought that went to your head, what was it like, right? And so watch this a second. So 86,000 seconds you've been granted. So, I said, last week, I said, if, I hand you $500,000, I said it in that old 1990 vintage tape when I was teaching a bunch of real estate leaders of America. I said, if I were to put $500,000 in your hand, I just being nice and handed it to you. Hopefully you would have some sense of responsibility with it. What would you do with it? Right. So you got In your hand this morning when you woke up, you got 86,200 seconds. So if 10 seconds of it gets messed up, are you going to, let that ruin the other? And it's the same way with all this stuff going on in the industry. You read an article. I read one yesterday. I went, oh my gosh. And I mean, it was ugly. It was ugly. And I was tempted to read it because it was so ugly. The headline, I went, where is he coming from with this? And what is he based? And I thought, you know what? I'm not spending one more second on this. And I just next, because why? Why am I going to take those 86,000 seconds, right? So I know George goes nuts when I do this, but this is just for reading purposes. And keep in mind that this is going to be a PDF in the 920 Society. So Ogmandino's scroll number 4 in the month of March that we were supposed to read 3 times a day, every day, right? I am nature's greatest miracle. I wanted to give you one of my favorite. I used to work for Dr. Dennis Waitley. I was on his staff. His poem, "You may know me, I'm your constant companion, I'm your greatest helper, I'm your heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure." Who's dragging you down to failure if things aren't going well, right? It says, I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am at your command. Half the task you do might as well be turned over to me. I'm able to do them quickly, and I'm able to do them the same every time if that's what you want. I'm easily managed. All you've got to do is be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want it done. After a few lessons, I'll do it automatically. I am the servant of all great men and women. Of course, I am the servant of all the failures as well. I've made all the winners who have ever lived, and I've made all the losers too. But I work with the precision of a marvelous computer, with the intelligence of a human being. You may run me for profit, or you may run me to ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Be firm with me, and I will put the world at your feet. Who am I? I am habit. And George mentioned he liked to walk the streets of Las Vegas at 2:00 in the morning for the site for the show. And you look at how some lives are it's so sad, right? But what got them there, right? It's our choices, it's our habits. So with all this crisis going on in your industry right now, our industry, what we think it could be a crisis could be an opportunity. It could cause you to get more educated. I keep bringing up over and over again. I only had one taker in 4 years that I've been saying this to you all. The average real estate agent earns $44,000 a year. The average CRS, the average certified residential specialist in NAR earns $127,000. Why is it in 4 years I have maybe one person that signed up to CRS? Why? Because we just let these things pass, our thoughts, or we don't maybe believe it, right? But do your research. So now's the time to step it up. You are nature's greatest miracle, but this is the emphasis I want to finish March with. If you do not take the power of habit and do one thing a little bit differently every day in this industry, and if you don't take up opportunities that come your way, like John just went through, hey, this is a possibility. Is that a possibility? Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't fit you, but then what else does? And this is what you have to figure out, because it's your life, and habit will take you wherever you want to go. Habit will take you where it starts with a mastermind. It starts with reading. Readers are leaders. Leaders are readers. And it's new information, and it's really truly, first of all, being sold on yourself. That's why I chose Ogmandino as the greatest salesman in the world for the 10 months that started in November, is because of these scrolls. And these scrolls are powerful. How many of you, dude, speak up if you do. How many of you have them printed out next to your bed? Who hasn't printed out? Olivia, I just saw your smile. You have it printed out.
I do.
Yes. Yeah. Who's that? Who's that? Speak up. Who has it printed out?
Viviana.
Hey, how you doing? What do you think?
Good.
Has it been helpful?
a lot.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, because you're getting sold on yourself. You're going to your natural state. You see, that's the thing, is what we misunderstand about the, we think it's inspiration. We think it's motivation. We think this is all about a belief of who you really are, right? I am unique. There's none other like me. I will capitalize on my gift of uniqueness. And once you really stay true to your true self, then all these other things become easy, like Jim Rome said. I work harder on me than I do anything else, and everything else takes care of itself. And you want miracles in your life, folks? I look back at my life and I see, and there's a lot of things I never saw as miracles, but then I've actually, some of you know the story, September year, 2 years will be September will be 2 years, where literally I raised my ex from the dead almost, because she was in hospice and they had her put there and they said it would be 2 days or 3 days and she would be dead. Today, she's healthy. She's out. She's doing her own thing. She's driving her car. Well, how does that happen? It's all mindset, right? It's all understanding who we really are and doing away with belief systems, doing away with belief systems that don't serve us. And they are so hidden. They're so hidden. George is going to go nuts when he sees this. This is for those after you print it out. Embracing our soul, SOLE, SOUL, and solar purpose. This was by artificial intelligence one morning at sunrise. This is a powerful, of course you have to put it in there, but I gave it my raw thoughts and what it came out with. So because we got to stop living our lives of illusions, right? This business is not going to serve you if you don't serve yourself first. This business is not going to serve you if you don't take advantage of the educational opportunities. This business is not going to serve you if you don't show up in masterminds and take advantage of other minds. And then, I won't go through the test that we did the last couple of weeks. This is all in here. This is the one where it says self-sabotage is sneaky and subtle, right? And this is where, and it's sabotaging behavior. Okay. It says behavior is said to be self-sabotaging when it creates problems in daily life and interferes with long-standing goals. That extra slice of pizza I had yesterday, it sabotaged me. My goal is to be a certain health level. My goal is to be a certain weight level. My goal is to be able to do certain things. That extra slice of pizza, actually, it was two. Don't tell anybody. It created a problem in my daily life. It interfered with my long-standing goals. But okay, forgiven, move on, next, right? But how many other times, though, do we really get so bogged down? I won't go through all these slides because there's going to be in there. This is that chart, the ego soul chart. I'm hoping that you go to 920 Society, print this out, and give yourself the test. Am I living over here and trying to do? This is what we do in the real estate business. We've all been taught this. Do this, do that. Like when I say go to CRS, I didn't say go do it on the ego side. Believe that your mind, your soul intelligence is worthy of new education, because this is the thermostat over here. The soul is the thermostat, the ego is the thermometer. When you're angry, it's the thermometer. When you're angry, it's a reflection of you're not valued. Anger is nothing but threat and value. It's living by the thermometer, right? You're over here, the soul is all about living by the thermostat. All this is already in you. All this is what you have obtained and become programmed with. Print this out, live by this chart. Because anytime there's frustration, anytime there's not enough finances, where is it? Is it an ego problem or soul problem? It's an ego problem. The soul is full of abundance. Money flows to light. Money flows to good ideas. Money flows to creativity. Where's creativity come from? Comes from the right side of the chart. It comes from the inside out. Where does the frustration come from? Comes from the ego. Comes from over here, your programming. Whatever you're over here experiencing, that's because you're focused on the thermometer. Just next time you want to adjust the temperature in your home, go up to the thermometer, not the thermostat, and start blowing on it. I don't care how hard you blow on it, you're not going to change the temperature. You might go through some good exercise and get to your lungs exercise, but you're not going to change anything. That's the way the ego works. This is all programmed over here. You got programmed, and you know who you got programmed by? Mothers, fathers, teachers, and preachers, all the well-meaning people in your life. Over here is all about making compromises in your life. The ego loves to compromise. The soul flourishes on promises and progress. You know, so the ego loves to project. It's my wife's fault. It's my boss's fault. It's the market's fault. It's NAR's fault. You know, I was attending a few of these sessions and watching some of the chats. A lot of people shut down the chats intentionally, but some of the chats that were open, the people that were projecting against NAR, you know, the National Association of Realtors, and blaming them, right? Projection. See, the soul over here just extends some thoughts, extend the fact, hey, I got to think outside the box over here. So the more I raise this, the less this goes. This comes down. I'm angry. I moved it up over here. This comes down. I go, wait a minute. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to try and seek first to understand, then be understood. That's the soul. Now, if I do this, the anchor comes down. It is the finances, same way. I could go out and make 200 calls a day. And if I do it just out of sheer willpower, it's over here. I'm going to make them. I don't care. Well, this is going to get tired, and it's going to come down. Now, you might be able to add to your bank account a little bit, maybe for a few months, but you're going to get worn out. Because if you start believing in yourself and believing in your business, if you read Og Mandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World and practice these scrolls, every time you read that scroll, Viviana, when you read that scroll, what does it do? Not only the feeling, but what it raises this over here, doesn't it? Right? Isn't that what you experience? You're raising this set point. Now, this is already here. It exists in every living human being. I don't care who they are, but it's been buried with this. The people who do very evil things, it's just that this is down here. This has been up here, right? When you see people doing crazy things, it's because over here, and the ego has taken over their life, has ruled, just like that poem, Habit. This is what's happened. You're just self-defeating. It's sabotage. And all these are comparison, right? The left side of the chart, the monkey mind, the right side of the chart. The soul is full of a gold mine. It wants to achieve. It wants to create. The soul, the ego is the monkey mind. Keeps you confused, keeps your head flowing. Tension relieving over here, the left side, right side. So we've been through these. So print these out. Please keep these near wherever your workspace is. And if you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling like you're not purposeful, if it feels like, well, maybe this is not the business for me, ask yourself, where am I? What am I doing over here with these charts? And these go on and on and on. I have 10 others of these. Every aspect of your life, every aspect of your marital bliss. How many of you are married? How many of you have a blissful marriage, blissful relationship? Okay, good. All right. So if you're blissful, that means you two have practiced and you're functioning over here. If you're not, if you're miserable, that's because you both are just based on your programming, you know, and this has gone down, you know, this is, you raise your voices, you raise whatever, your frustration, same thing. Okay. So we got 3 more days of mediocrity. We got 3 more days of March. Let's defeat this mediocrity in March. Hopefully you're going to come in and still participate in the 920 Society. I'm going to once a week have a session on there. It's just going to be a webinar. And I'm really excited about April with Og Mandino's scroll. I will live this day as if it's the last day of my life. It's a powerful one. So with that, from the practical standpoint, anybody have any questions of Jonathan about the mortgage program while they're still on? And you're going to be hearing more about them. They're going to be given a weekly update, at least in the 920 Society, about the mortgage industry and different changes in the industry. Once a week, they'll post something about maybe this opportunity that you have. But while they're here, any questions from them?
I had a question. How do we do it? What's the next step?
So that's a great question, Olivia. Thank you. So the next step is just contact me directly. We'll put you in touch. We'll get you talking about getting you licensed, the easiest method to do it. Once we get you through, we'll hold your hand through NMLS, get that accomplished. And then our licensing department will get you licensed in Florida. And then you'll be good to go. And then we'll partner you up with a team member, and we'll rock and roll together. And you could be our, prime example. One thing I want to add, and Fred, thank you so much. I mean, this was wonderful. I love the whole thermostat. I mean, it's really got me thinking. It's just amazing. But for Olivia and everyone else, keep in touch with us, because right now, I think we've turned the clock back. Everyone is looking to do better and help their clients. People wouldn't realize, with all the programs available today, we could almost do any loan possible. We have what we call non-QM loans, which allow people to buy properties through bank statements, through just a P&L, through 1099s. We have such amazing products. We even have a product where we don't even do an income test. People don't even put down the income or employment, as long as it's a primary or second home. It's just a no income loan. So there are abilities out there today to get almost anyone financed. And as you work with us and as you grow with us, and if you come to wanting to be an NMLS licensed individual, we're going to help you bring to the table exactly what Fred's talking about. Experience more growth, happiness, and not really worried about the money, because the money will come eventually.
Jonathan, one of the questions was, is there a cost?
Just for the licensing, and we will reimburse that once you send in your first deal.
And licensing is how much? A few $100?
A few $100.
Yeah. Okay.
But our program is, once you get licensed and send in a first deal, we're going to bonus you on that deal for the licensing.
Okay, cool. And folks, again, Nationwide is in most of the states. And then, wherever you have, like when you're doing, we talk all the time about your sphere of influence, and a lot of people are confused that they have to be in your local state. Your sphere of influence is around the country. Now you've got a partner that when you call someone saying, hey, by the way, I'm calling, I have a great partner in your state when it comes to mortgage. If you ever have a question about mortgage or refinancing, make sure you give me a call. I want to be your resource. I want to be your resource. I want to be your, see, that's what masterminding is really about, going to the well, right? It's going about where you could always be refreshed with something. But if you're not, if you're not on the right side of the chart, you're always thinking with your ego. But if you're on the right side of the chart, like a little kid, always expecting something great, you'll figure this stuff out. So what I would do right away, my sphere of influence, now I just would develop a relationship with Nationwide. And now when I'm able to call my sphere of influence, I got something else to offer, right? And well, what if they ask me? Well, you're going to call your mortgage partner. Don't worry about it, right? So, all right, cool. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Could I chime in for a second?
Sure, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Scott. I'm the divisional EVP here. I'm up in Wisconsin, but I work with everyone. So, I mean, some of the other things just to think about too is like, everyone, if Olivia, if you jump on that, or anybody wants to participate, we have the ability to do loans out of state too. So, say for example, you get licensed and you find someone that wants to buy a house in Wisconsin or Illinois, we give you that ability to do that too. And I mean, I think everyone hopes, prays, and thinks that rates are going to go down at some point. Give us your database. We're going to help look after that. And at some point, rates are going to drop. You're going to get paid on those refinances. Like Olivia teamed up with Nathan Servideo. We will talk to our borrowers, stay in touch with them. If somebody wants a HELOC, somebody wants to do a refinance, someone's mom and dad wants to do a loan. You guys can make money on that stuff too. We're licensed in 46 states. I think Fred mentioned that also. But I mean, it just gives you another avenue, and for everyone that just loves real estate, I mean, we're also here. Like we're a true partner. I mean, we want to help you. So if anybody wants, I have a marketing assistant that will do some marketing for you guys. If you guys want to do some social media, we'll do it for you, no cost. We'll help take your listings and boost them. We'll try to do different ideas that can help generate some business, and of course,
right.
We have loan offices down in that area. reach out to some of us because we also want to know how to send you guys referrals, right? Like, give us some different ideas. We have databases. I've been doing this. I won't admit how long, but it's been a long time, but like Nathan, John's been doing it forever. Dave Long, up there. So, if we have chances to talk with some of you and we get a referral, someone wants to list a home, I want to know who's a buyer, who specializes in buyers agencies. And if we can we're going to try to figure out ways to send you guys business also. So like just little things like that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and again, folks, masterminding with the right people. We're talking about that. When you go to the 920 Society, remember in the files, you won't find it. I thought, because mine shows the features, I thought it does on yours too. I just discovered that with one of the agents the other day. But go to files for that handout from today. Annabelle, if you want to put that in there now, it'll be in there. And I encourage you, any club you're a member of or any other association, you want to use those slides, you're free to use them any way you want. You can take my name off them, brand them with you. I just want to get the message out that people are not stuck with themselves. That's my main goal in life. You're not stuck with yourself. As you can see, the spiritual side of life and living by design versus default, not all, and for ultimate and unconditional. They ought to be all unconditional. But we have all these conditions, right? And it's not necessary because we just don't know who we are. We don't understand who we are, that we are nature's greatest miracle. And so I'm here to sell people on themselves. That's my greatest function in life. So hopefully I've sold you and yourself a little bit today, that you got this great mastermind. You'll be hearing from these guys once a week, an update, a mortgage update, and then get with Jonathan. I just posted that in the chat as well. So Annabelle, you put this in there one more time in case someone's not already a member. And I just reposted Jonathan's. You put it in. She put the PDF in the chat as well, folks. And then she'll post it also on Facebook. Okay.